This is E.Wilson, the Conversator from the JTC Exchange, and we are coming to you live from Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. I tell you, you never know where we're going to pop up next. And I am down here. I'm privileged and honored to be here. So excited for this topic today, or this discussion that we're going to have about this organization called Patch, really tying in parents to their children and children to the schools, and just making sure that everything flows the way it should be. And so I'm sitting here with the founder and CEO of Patch Incorporated, Dr. Katrina Sweet. So, Doctor, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you.
All right. Well, it's good to be here with you now. We're talking about, the community. We're talking about the schools, and we're talking about having a flow where this all can work together. So tell us now, how long has Patch been in existence, and what caused you and moved you to start this organization?
Absolutely. Patch was birthed in February of 2011, and Patch was birthed because of my experience as a parent. At the time, I had an 8th grader, and I kind of sensed some discriminatory behaviors. As I stated earlier, whether it was real or perceived, at that moment I was able to take a look at the system and see that there were some things broken and some things that as parents we needed to do to be more engaged and involved in order for our children to be successful in the school system.
So since you said that a few things that are broken, can you name one thing in particular that was broken? I'm looking at your face like you got a list, but if you one or two that were broken that needs to be addressed.
Well, obviously the parental engagement and parental involvement. There are numerous of parents who are very concerned about their child or their children. They want to be engaged, but they don't know how to be. They want to advocate, but they don't know how. They don't know all of their rights. They don't know how to assist their children and help navigate them through the system. So that is a broken tool. From the school's perspective, they say that they want parental engagement, but parental engagement is more than just parents showing up for PTO or cookie sales or bake sales. And so really trying to get them to broaden their definition and their perspective of what parental involvement needs to look like, so there can be a true partnership between the parents and the schools, so we can help navigate the children and educate them so there is high achievement on their part. So
you mean I ain't doing nothing like just going to the PTO meeting? I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
That's important. Show up to the PTOs, but then there's a whole nother aspect of parents being involved. And so when I saw the lack thereof, then God gave me this vision of Patch, and at that time I only thought that we would be working with parents, just educating parents and getting them to see the importance of being truly engaged in their child's educational success. I tell parents all the time, we are primarily responsible for our child's education, not the school. The school is just a guide or two that we use, but the responsibility really lies within our hands to make sure that our children are successful within the system. And I am always so shocked when I hear a parent tells me that's not true, or they're not primarily responsible. It's the school's responsibility. And so really trying to get them to change their perspective is really difficult to do at times, but it's a challenge that I'm willing to accept. So.
Well, that's a great challenge you're accepting. I'll ask you this on that. Do you think that just from me looking on the outside, even the community that we're in, and just parents overall, like you said, not really engaged, usually with sports activities, it's kind of a lot of engagement, but as far as, the education and seeing what's going on, do you think it's more of sometime just too busy as parents to be involved, or is it too much work? The parents the kid got to do the homework, and it's the school's problem to teach them. What do you think is some of the reasons that the parents aren't as involved as they should be?
I think it's both and. I think some parents are just too busy. When we become parents, I think for lack of better words, our lives kind of are put on hold. And our children should be our priority. You know, we should have already lived our lives, so to speak, unless we have children at an early age. But even when that happens, then you know that your child should be your priority. So I think parents are too busy. I think parents, they don't understand the whole aspect of helping their child with their work. You find that there are a great number of parents who don't even know how to read. And I know even for me, and I consider myself somewhat educated, but even looking at some of my son's math problems, it's like, how do I do this now? I remember doing this.
Right.
And so sometimes when a parent don't know, then they'll shy away from it and say, well, we just let your teacher help you with that. So I think that the schools really need to look into that, even if it means having a program that tutor parents or show parents how to assist their child with their homework, you know. So that's worth looking into. So
I think that's good news right there, and understanding that it is. I mean, it's really a no-brainer, but it is our responsibility. It's our children, and so nobody is going to care like you do your own son or daughter. So what are, let me ask you, what are the benefits? What kind of benefits can the parents, because the parent is saying, listen, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I don't have time. What are some of the benefits that the parents will be able to experience personally for being involved, and also the different outcome in their child? Because they might say, well, we're going to help them out with the homework. What does it really matter? You know, what is the parent going to benefit, and how does the child going to benefit from the involvement?
absolutely. I think if parents understand that education is a great equalizer, seeing their child achieve, and not just achieve, but the high achievement and accomplish things that they never thought was possible, I think that is a great benefit within themselves. If parents understand that education is the key and the answer to poverty, to crimes, their children living a life that they never thought would be possible, then they would want to be more engaged and more involved. So that is a great personal benefit in regards to the children. In regards to the parents, it gives them a great satisfaction knowing that their children are successful. When you talk about your children, for the most part, what people really want to know is, how are they doing? You know, if they're in school well, what type of grades are they making? What type of students are they? And it's always a pleasure to say, you know, my child, they're in the accelerated program, or they're, now we don't say that out loud, you know, but we really, it's a great sense of pride to say, you know, they're in honor classes and they're doing well. It's not a struggle. And you want to set those high expectations for your children. I was reading on last night, and they were talking about, in this article, they were talking about low achievement and how low expectations are often set for specifically minority students. And if we continue to set low expectations, they will never achieve the level that what they're able to achieve. So we have to raise the bar of our expectations. And I remember having a conversation with my son about a month ago, and he said to me, now he's a little bit more assertive now with his schoolwork, but he said if it had not been for the expectations that I had set for him early on, he doesn't think that he would have done as well as he has done. So now he hasn't arrived. We're still working. I don't want to give that impression. We're still working, and mommy has to still work with him and make sure he's doing what he needs to do. But I think setting those high expectations for our babies will, at least we will begin to see, you know, some progress. Yeah. So.
All right, so that's Mr. Kevin. All right, Kevin's a work in progress. We with you, Kev. We with you, and that's good, because, like I said, you, as a parent, you can see that they can do more, and we need to push them. And sometime when they say "ouch," it doesn't really hurt.
Right.
but we as parents kind of back up off of them, and so they don't achieve the highest level of success that they should achieve. So that is awesome. So before we ask you for your information and stuff, but you're saying to the parents out there that they are absolutely, I just want to reiterate this, they are absolutely vital, and it's their responsibility, not the principals, not the teacher, not the sub, but their responsibility. So you're saying that we do not get off the hook for having to work 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs, and I just got hurt last week, or I'm feeling sick this week. There's no excuses. It is still our job to get this job done with the kids.
Absolutely. It is still our jobs, and I understand that there are contributing factors, whether we cause the problems or not. There are contributing factors that may keep us from being as engaged as we would like to be. But in the end, we need to understand that we are primarily responsible for our child's success. Bottom line. Bottom line. And Patch exists for that very reason. We want more parents to be engaged and involved in it. And if they don't know how, we want to be a resource to teach them how to be engaged, how to be involved. If their children are struggling, connect them to the resources that's going to be beneficial to their children. And then we want the schools to be more embracing to true partnership. Again, not just showing up to a program that I put on, or PTO, but really embrace true partnership. And true partnership means you are creating a welcoming environment for the parents. I don't know about you, but if you're invited someplace and you don't feel welcome, then you're not really going to want to go back or stay. So creating a welcoming environment, and then really being open to the voices of the parents. Parents they have a voice when it comes to their child's education, but most parents don't know how to use that voice. So it's more to just going up to the school when something is wrong, and then when you go up there, you're behaving unseemly. Most parents do that when they don't know any better. And so Patch we want to be not only an advocating organization, but an organization where we can teach parents and provide them the necessary tools that they need. So I kind of see Patch's territory enlarging, where we can have a parent institute, more so a college for the parents, where we can train and educate and really, really help parents. If I were to ask some parents today, can you tell me the vision or the mission of your child's school? They won't know it. If I were to ask them, can you tell me your rights as parents? They don't know it. And the school, I feel, fails in that area because they don't try to teach parents. So it's a certain amount of information that they want to withhold. I'm not going to give you all of the bullets because you may use them against me, but parents really need to be educated. So if the schools can really look into having a true partnership with parents, because ultimately, if you are working to make sure that the child is successful, and the parent is working trying to make sure that the child is successful, that's a nice combination and a great team. But in most cases, you don't see that, and then the child is the one left to suffer and to be left behind. Now, my child would be okay because they have me. He has me. And some of the other prolific leaders and those who are educated, parents who are educated, their children will be okay. They're known as the cream of the crop. But then what about the majority, the other babies? And so when Patch was birthed, it was originally birthed, as I stated, because of my own personal struggles with my son that particular year. But when God brought me through that, then He gave me a burden for the other babies who didn't have a Katrina in the home to advocate for them. And so here Patch exists.
Well, since PAX exists, can you give some website information? Is this only for the people in North Carolina, or or can the people in Texas have a piece of this?
People in Texas can have a piece of this. I actually see Patch one day being a national organization. So we don't want to stay local. As we grow and God enlarges our territory, I kind of see us expanding to a national level, because I believe that there is a need in every city. there is a need for Patch. And so Patch, by the way, it stands for Parents and Their Children. And so the website for additional information is www.klspatch.org. Yeah, so.
And that'll take them, and they'll be able to get some information off of their contact and all that good stuff.
Contact and all of that good stuff will be up there. We need to do some updating. Yeah, but for the most part, all of the information is up there now. One of the things that we're doing now that is not on the website, we are now focusing on addressing sexual abuse, and not counseling, because we're not a counseling agency, but we will connect you to the resources, or to someone who can assist you. So we're dealing with addressing sexual abuse and educational disparities. And most people ask me, well, when educational disparities, what are you talking about? Bullying. And I know you probably have heard that there are some issues in regards to bullying in the school, and I was a victim of bullying in the schools. And so when you look at, again, the hard facts surrounding bullying, when I read statistics that says 160,000 kids miss school a day because of bullying, not a year, but a day. And so when you have schools saying we're having issues with kids being absent, you might want to take a look at bullying. You know, that could be a reason, one of the problems why they're not attending school. And so again, I know the long-term effects, that isolation and wanting to fit in, the peer pressure behind all of that. And so and it affects your grades if you're not, because they can't teach students if they're not there. And so if you want to, address the absenteeism, you may want to take a look at bullying. And when I hear administrators say, well, kids would just be kids, and because a child punches someone one time, that doesn't mean that's bullying. And I'm like, excuse me? If you slap me in my face, even if it only happened once, that's one time too many. Your hands belong on your side and not in my face. So, and suicide is the third leading cause of youth taking their lives. And so is bullying a contributing factor to that? And you have some scholars who say no, but then you have some scholars who say it is a contributing factor to suicide. So it's enough for us to bring awareness to, and to actually roll up our sleeves and say something needs to be done about it. And so I'm willing for the challenge. Yes, for the challenge. So.
Well, doctor, that is awesome. Y'all heard the website. Say it one more time. They're going to see it at the end, but say it one more time. I want them to get this.
Yes, www.klspatch.org.
Right, and there you go. It's not just North Carolina that's going to get this patch, so you need to go ahead and look it up. We're here with Dr. Katrina Sweet, right here in Raleigh, Durham, Texas. E.Wilson, the Conversator. If you want more information on the JTC Exchange, go to www.jtc, the letter exchange.org. And remember, if you're going to have a conversation, make it a good one. We out.